Hi, this is Mr. Schneider. This is podcast 9.1. Today we're going to look at the Judicial Branch, and we're going to start off right away with looking at interactions between a judge and somebody convicted of a crime, and how not to act if you're ever arrested. Don't get arrested, but if you're ever arrested.
Do not try this in court.
Come back again.
18-year-old Penelope Soto didn't just flip the judge the bird right off the bat. She built up to it. Charged with possession of Xanax, she and Miami-Dade Circuit Judge Jorge Rodriguez Shomoff got off to a rocky start at this bail hearing.
I own a lot of jewelry, all right.
How much would you say your jewelry is worth? It's not a joke, you know. We're not in a club now.
Soon it started to sound like a scene out of My Cousin Vinny.
You on drugs?
Drugs? No, I don't take drugs.
Have you had any kind of drugs in the last 24 hours?
Actually, no.
And Soto had no prior arrests, so the judge set bail at $5,000.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
But adios was a little too sassy.
Come back, ma'am. Come back.
The judge upped the bail.
Count one would be 10,000.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
So Soto flipped the bird.
Come back again.
And the judge flipped.
What's up?
I believe I heard you saying to...
Yes, I did. I'm not going to this.
I believe you... Did you say me?
Actually, I
Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, you did say that?
I'm not
I
gonna
find you in
lie.
direct criminal contempt. 30 days in the county jail.
Okay, that's fine.
CNN.
All right, so don't talk to the judge like that. Let's get that right off the bat. Don't ever talk to a judge like that. All right. First off, terms you should know. Jurisdiction gives courts authority to hear cases. Original appellate jurisdiction. Original is the authority to hear a case for the first time. An appellate is the authority to review a decision of a lower court, and we'll look at that more when we look at the setup of the courts. Oh, and then I have it wrong here, sorry. A felony is a serious crime, and then misdemeanor should be down below. A misdemeanor is a smaller or less serious offense. So misdemeanor would be stealing a candy bar. A felony would be stealing a car. Don't steal. Don't steal. All right, so organization of federal courts. Whenever we're looking at the next two slides, remember that the organization of the courts goes up, look a prop. So we're started at the bottom and go up. So these federal court, the U.S. has a court system, it's a federal court system, and they generally deal with things that, with the U.S. Constitution and federal laws. So if you threaten a federal judge, or if you threaten the president, that would go through the federal court system. The lowest level of court is the district court. There's a judge with or without a jury, and they have original jurisdiction, so they can hear the first case, original case. Cases always start 99% of the time at the U.S. District Court. The court above that is the Court of Appeals, and they have appellate jurisdiction. There's judges there, there's no jury, and they only hear cases that come from the U.S. District Court. So if you're convicted of an offense, you can automatically appeal it. It'll go to the Court of Appeals. Now, when you appeal something, the next court up does not have to hear it. They can do a couple things. They can say, yes, we'll hear this case on appeal, or they can say we accept the lower court's case decision on this case, meaning that they will not hear it, or they can send it back to the lower court for them to look at the case again. And then the federal court, the highest court's the U.S. Supreme Court. Again, there's justices, there's 9 justices, there's no juries. They have appellate jurisdiction, they have very limited original jurisdiction. Say the state of Virginia was suing Pennsylvania because they were dumping toxic chemicals. No. All right, sorry. So say Virginia was suing Maryland because Maryland was the governor of Maryland was dumping toxic chemicals into rivers. It was flowing into Virginia. The Supreme Court would hear that case. All right, next. Virginia has its own court system, like every other state. Lowest level, again, remember that it goes, I hope you can see this, it goes up from here. It goes. All right, the lowest level of court in Virginia are general district and juvenile domestic relation. There's judge, there's no jury. In general district, they hear misdemeanors in civil cases with a lower dollar amount. I believe the threshold is, I can't remember. So it's a lower dollar amount. And then they have original jurisdiction in juvenile and family cases, so things like divorce or adoption. The next court out is circuit court. If you went on the court tour, this is the courts that you saw. This is a judge with or without a jury. They have original jurisdiction for felony criminal cases and for certain civil cases, so a higher amount. And then if you appeal a case from the district court, it goes to the circuit court. If you appeal a case from the circuit court, it goes to the Court of Appeals of Virginia. There's no juries here, it's only the judges, and they have appellate jurisdiction. And just as the U.S. Supreme Court, there's a Virginia Supreme Court. There's no jury, they have appellate jurisdiction, and they have very limited original jurisdiction. So the Supreme Court, U.S. and Virginia, Marbury versus Madison established the principle of judicial review. And what judicial review is says that the Supreme Court can review constitutional cases, and the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Please remember Marbury v. Madison. And then state laws of Virginia, and federal laws really, they have to conform to the Virginia and U.S. constitutions. You can ask yourself if that's always been the truth in this country. Think about Jim Crow laws. Did they always conform to federal laws? So in a criminal case, the first thing that happens is you have to be accused of a crime. The police will arrest you with probable cause, meaning either they have enough evidence or they saw you commit the crime. That goes to an arraignment where probable cause is reviewed. The judge looks at what evidence they have. If you don't have an attorney, one's given to you, and you enter a plea. You either plead not guilty, and we go forward, or you plead guilty, and then you're given a sentence. Usually plead guilty if there's so much overwhelming evidence against you, and you're trying to get a lighter sentence. You're either sent to jail, or you can be released on bail, depending on your crime. If you murdered someone, obviously your bails could be really high. If you stole a candy bar, you'd probably be released on bail. In a felony case, they go to a preliminary hearing where, again, they review probable cause. If it's determined, a grand jury will determine if there's enough evidence to indict the accused, meaning that there's enough evidence to arrest you or to send you to trial. In a misdemeanor case, there's no preliminary hearing or grand jury. They just set a trial date. And then a court date is set and a trial is conducted. If you're found guilty, that verdict can be appealed. In a civil case, a court settles a disagreement between two parties to recover damages or receive compensation. So let's say that you hire somebody to landscape your yard. Instead of landscaping it, they turn all your grass brown. You would take them to the civil court. They refuse to pay for it. You take them to the civil court. There can be a judge or a jury. Once the ruling is issued, then the case can be appealed. Here's an example of a civil case.
It wasn't so bad. Wrote an article for... Very well. But first, some ground rules. Number 1, we get bathroom breaks every half hour. Agreed. Number 2, the jury will be chosen by me. Agreed. No, wait. Silence! I give you the jury of the damned. Benedict Arnold, Lizzie Borden, Richard Nixon. But I'm not dead yet. In fact, I just wrote an article for Redbook. Hey, listen, I did a favor for you. Yes, Master. John Wilkes Booth, Blackbeard the Pirate, John Dillinger, and the starting line of the 1976 Philadelphia Flyers.
I'm sorry, Mr. Blackbeard. We're low on chairs, and this is the last one.
This chair be high, says I. I hold here a contract between myself and one Homer Simpson.
All right, so a contract violation with something would go to civil court. And then finally, due process. This is the constitutional protection against unfair governmental actions and laws. The Fifth Amendment prohibits the national government from violating due process. The 14th Amendment, which was signed after the Civil War, prevents state and local governments from violating due process. The Supreme Court has extended the guarantees of the Bill of Rights based upon the Due Process Clause. So your First Amendment rights are pretty well protected. But again, think about after the Civil War and Jim Crow laws, didn't those violate due process? That's what I always thought. All right, sorry this is short, not a lot of videos. I had to run through it this morning. Hope you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye. Podcast 9.1. Have a good day. Bye.